I have got a really exciting video for you all today. Today we are checking out the two new expansions for Townsfolk Tussle. Foul Neighbors and Odd Jobs are the two new expansions coming out for the Townsfolk Tussle game, which is one of my favorite boss battlers and cooperative games, developed by Panic Roll. They were gracious enough to send me this preview sampler, so we of course have to get some disclaimers out of the way. First off, this is not a sponsored video. They will be getting me a copy of the reprint just for my own personal enjoyment, but other than that, I am not being paid in any way. Additionally, this is of course being a prototype and preview sampler. This is a bespoke box that's specifically for us content creators, so this is not the final box nor the final content. Everything in here is subject to change as well, so just bear that in mind. This is just to give you a little bit of a sense of what's to come in their Kickstarter. And if you want to stay up to date on the Kickstarter, you can find a link to that down in the description below. The Kickstarter is launching March 14th. Pretty soon, right after my birthday, so this is a very good early birthday present for me. And yeah, so I'll go through some of the changes. We'll talk a little bit about the expansions and sort of what you can expect. This will just be a first look. I've literally got this box today, but I wanted to record this before I take it to my friends because we're going on a trip this weekend, and I'm going to need some people to test with. So I'm going to bring this preview box along with the base game. I'm going to play with it. But before I do that, I did want to record this ahead of time. I of course won't be able to release this video until the embargo lifts, but of course I just wanted to get it recorded and out of the way because I wanted my very first impressions to be on camera. So this, I have not opened this box yet. I'm very excited to sort of see what's going on. So let's switch to the overhead camera, and this is the fantastic box for the preview expansion sampler. I'll never ever get tired of the art that Panic Roll does. Ooh, that's quite a few things here. So here's a little bit of a closer up of the top of the box. So you can see Townsfolk Tussle. There's two new townsfolk that we're going to be able to play with. They're going to be, what are their names? Judy Marks and Frigid Jones. I'm assuming that's Frigid Jones, considering she's a fridge. Additionally, you will note that on the box and throughout some of the content, it will say Nefarious Neighbors and Odd Jobs. I have been told by Panic Roll that they have changed the name to Foul Neighbors and Odd Jobs as the two expansions. So just bear that in mind. Again, this is just a little early prototype. We, of course, can see on the box, sides of the box here, we can see some of the extra ruffians that will come around to, get in our way and destroy Eureka Springs. And there's going to be four new ruffians essentially in this preview box. And in the actual expansion, there should be 8 ruffians total they're bringing in with the Foul Neighbors expansion. That's going to be essentially focusing on 2 different locations. Misty Bluff, which is actually where Bort Dovis is from the original base game, which is fantastic. We'll set that right beside there, because Bort Dovis is one of my friends and mine's actually favorite ruffians to go up against thematically. He's absolutely hilarious. And then we, of course, have Sprinkle Falls as the other one. That is where Umbrello is from. So, of course, first things first, we have the expansion sampler rules and updates. So yeah, I haven't dove through this. We're not going to read through this right now, but of course it's going to talk about all the new mechanics, some of the new updated base game rules. So for example, you can actually use your 2 Moxie to reroll dice now, which is very cool. Sort of reminds me of using Fate in Aeon Trespass Odyssey. Yeah, they have a new 3-round game mode as well. So if you only want to play 3 rounds for a little bit of a quicker game, there's going to be additional updates to sort of how refreshing the store goes for Peddler. A lot of really good changes they're going to be adding to the base game for the reprint and stuff like that. So I'm very much looking forward to that. But I'm going to talk some about the new expansions, Odd Jobs and Foul Neighbors. So Odd Jobs, of course, is going to be focused more around the Peddler and focused around, helping out the Peddler with different expeditions, or I guess quests. You have different type of equipment now. You have deployables, which I'm very looking forward to trying out. So yeah, very cool expansion there. And then the Foul Neighbors expansion is the one where it's going to be focused more on the actual ruffians and a little bit more of the main content, I guess, for the game. All right, let's check out some of these punch outs. So here it looks like we have 4 of the different ruffians that we're going to be going up against here, as well as the 2 new townsfolk. We got Judy there, as well as we got Frigid up there. We got some extra tokens as well. Very cool. The art is so good in this game. I can never get over how good the art is. Looks like I've got some new terrain pieces. I'm seeing a lot, especially with Sprinkle Falls, I'm seeing a lot of water, a lot of water tiles I'm not looking forward to, because Umbrello is mine and my friends, our least favorite Ruffians to go up against because he's very, very difficult, or he can be very, very difficult. I got Gooby's Tavern there. I got a little campfire. It looks like we got Patches as one of the Ruffian tokens. Looks like we got some more Ruffian tokens as well as the tokens for our characters, the new characters. Judy Marks, Frigid Jones. We got Tartar Fishboy, Miss Falls and Co., and the Door Knockers. So we've got some more. Oh my god, look at all these water tiles. I'm a little bit worried why we need this many water tiles, but of course, once we get to the gameplay videos, which I'll make down the road, we'll of course get to those. Looks like we have our character sheets for Judy Marks and Frigid Jones. We're not going to dive too deep into these. Maybe I'll do a separate video diving a little bit closer into every single little thing, because this is just a first look video. Of course, don't want to make this one too long, but Judy Marks looks very, very cool. Looks like she has a little bit of a mask on. Stats-wise, she seems pretty quick. Very good stat line. 3 health, a little bit on the weak side, but 4 movement, 3 moxie, and +1 accuracy to start with is very, very cool. Looks like her abilities are Gift of Art and Creative Flow, which looks like they're centered around paintings that you have as part of your starting gear that you can hand out to your friends. Well, I guess we'll look and see what those do later on, but that's very, very cool. And then, of course, we have her backstory on the back, which I won't read every single thing right now, but if you want to pause, maybe read it yourself. If you don't want spoilers. I guess I should probably preface this video by saying, or should have prefaced this video by saying there's going to be obvious spoilers, but I think you should have expected that already. We got Frigid Jones here, who has 4 health, 5 movement, 2 moxie, and -1 accuracy, so definitely seems like a more of a supportive character. Her title is the Inspiring Icebox. Wonder if you would think a fridge doesn't have much movement, but she does have treadmills for legs. And then I'm guessing Panic Girl can correct me if I'm wrong, this must be must be going to be a reference to the dad joke of, is your fridge running? Because if so, you better catch it. I would hope so. That would make me happy. We have her abilities Hide Inside and Cold Storage. Hide Inside, you can spend 1 moxie to actually hide a townsfolk inside of you. Remove an adjacent townsfolk from the board. Townsfolk removed this way are placed adjacent to you at the start of their turn. Very interesting ability. Very, very cool. And Cold Storage, you can actually make it cheaper for you and adjacent townsfolk to swap gear out. That'd be very, very good in like the King and Queen fight. And then here's her backstory as well. Hop in, we got a town to save. Very, very cool. Maybe we'll make a separate video just diving a little bit deeper on the characters and the Ruffians. All right, we have the Ruffian cards. Oh, these look scary. So we have the Door Knockers. That is some creepy, creepy art. We got the Tainted Salesman. So decent amount of health, pretty average stat line for health and movement. We, of course, have their different abilities depending on when you encounter them in the run. Looks like they have a special ability called Ambush, which they start with the One of Us actions cards in play. Then we have their terrain set up on the back here, which looks like it uses pretty much only the base game terrain. Looks like we have 1 new terrain piece that uses the Gooby's Tavern as one of their terrain pieces. And then, of course, we have the final fight stuff there, which I don't want to show too much of course, because that's going to be major spoilers, especially for myself. We have the Stray Patches, which I thought it was a zombified cat first, but if you look closer, that's definitely a human arm. And then you actually have, don't know if you can see there, but it's actually a face, that's a human face, which a evil eye and a little bit of a grin there. That's a very, very creepy cat. Interesting. So his stat line has very low health, but there is a note from Panic Roll that talks about some of the unique mechanics about Patches, and it looks like there's gonna be different parts of Patches we're gonna have to deal with. Oh, and then in terms of his terrain, looks like, again, mostly using the base content. Actually, it doesn't look like Patches uses any of the new terrain. Interesting. Unless I'm missing something. No, it doesn't look like it uses any of the new terrain. We have the Frantic Tower, Miss Falls and Co. Just a legit water tower chasing us with angry thunderclouds behind her. Looks like the thunderclouds are going to contribute to her water and electrocuting us. So that's going to be an interesting fight, it seems like. And terrain piece, it looks like, yeah, she uses quite a few of the new terrain pieces. We have a campfire there. We got the clothesline with clothes. It looks like a mud pool. And we have what looks to be the clouds with the thunder clouds. Interesting. And then last but not least, we have Savage Fisher, Tartar Fish Boy. I wonder if it's related to Norman, or has dealings with Norman. And it looks like he uses the larger river, so these are part of the new tile. So just rather than just a stream that you can cross, it's just a legit like river that cuts through it. I'm guessing you're not going to be able to cross that. That's going to make things very interesting. And I'm guessing that you can probably get pushed into this or something like that, which I'm very much not looking forward to. So of course, those are the four different. These are the four different Ruffians that are in the preview. Of course, the full Foul Neighbors expansion is going to come with 8 Ruffians total, 4 Ruffians from each neighboring town, Sprinkle Falls and Misty Bluff. And these are just the different patches. I'm not going to look at this because this is just for when we're going to be fighting patches. It's 2 different versions they want me to look at. All right, so let's dive into some more of this box, shall we? Of course, anything that is going to be specifically fight-related or things like that, I'm going to try to leave off and save for separate videos. I don't want to get too deep into stuff because I don't want to spoil it for myself. So here are some of the roll cards. So let's break these open. So the roll cards are part of the Odd Jobs expansion. Essentially, you'll be able to, when you're going through your run, you're going to be able to upgrade your gear and specifically get a roll. So as long as you get 3 of a certain type of gear that has a roll on it, you'll essentially attain that roll, which you can sort of see come with different passive abilities or different abilities that you get to utilize. So this one, for example, is Toddler Tactics. When you prevent or reduce damage, gain +1 accuracy for the fight. And if you have 5 accuracy, your town career weapons deal +1 damage. So the specific types of gear that you're looking towards to build into your role. So you are the town career, you are the farmer. These are really, really cool. I love the art on these. I love how bright and vibrant they are. You are the cook. So it looks like there's a ton of these, and this is, of course, only the preview sampler, so there's going to be a ton more in the final version. So they are going to be giving us some of the roles in this expansion. However, we're not going to be able to really experience in this this preview sampler the process of gaining experience and sort of leveling up your gear and stuff like that, unfortunately. But this still seems like there is plenty here to enjoy. Showman, the Tinkerer. Remove 3 counters from Tinkerer gear you own. Receive the top card of the Peddler deck. Discard a piece of unequipped gear. If the Ruffian is within 3 squares, deal 2 damage to them. That is a very, very cool ability. And the back sides of them are very, very cool. Almost like tarot card. That's what they're... I guess that is the reference, you know, tarot cards giving the different classifications, but the backs are super, super cool. I love that. Love the art. I will forever gush over the art of Panic Roll and Townsfolk Tussle. All right, it looks like we have the Ruffian gear card, or Ruffian AI cards here. So we have stuff like Patches, for example, has some specific ambush cards. So it looks like ambush is a new mechanic for Ruffians that gives them a starting card. So yeah, you can see in the top left there's going to be a little indicator NN for Nefarious Neighbors. Of course, they are going to change that to Foul Neighbors. This is just to sort of let you know which expansion it comes from. And then we got, of course, the Terrain deck. So let's check out some bit of Terrain, actually. Oh, that's Miss Falls and Co. So let's put that there. So it looks like we have the Flood cards. This is a new Terrain feature. Tartar is waterbound. So these are some Ruffian-specific terrain, it looks like. You cannot move or be moved out of the flood squares unless otherwise stated. If any townsfolk begin their turn inside a flood square, they take 1 damage. Yeah, that's going to be annoying. We have Bait. That's another one of his terrain-specific ones that I saw on his setup. Interesting. Got Clothesline. You can spend 1 Moxie to dry him out. You may unequip any amount of equipped gear for free. For each piece of gear unequipped, remove 2 water tokens from your townsfolk. This terrain can no longer be activated. Interesting. So you're going to end up getting wet throughout the fight, and you're going to have to dry off your clothes. That's hilarious. You got Campfire, which also is going to let us, looks like, yeah, remove 1 water token from themselves for adjacent townsfolk. Or adjacent townsfolk can end their turn and remove 1 water token. Interesting. So yeah, some very, very cool stuff. Goob's Tavern. Pay a coin to discard an unaccomplished feat. If you do discard up to 2 belief tokens, that looks like another fight-specific mechanic. Interesting. So it looks like they're definitely ramping up the amount of mechanics you're going to have to deal with some of these ruffians. And that's sort of, I think, is one of the things that I'm looking forward to with some of these new ruffians is some more variability, more options, more strategic decisions to make. Because I felt some of the fights in the base game can get a little bit basic, but it does look like they are ramping up things with this expansion, of course. That's sort of the beauty of these games is, with these expansions, you can just look towards more of the content, but also just things that they've learned from their previous iteration of the game, and it looks like they're going to be just adding so much more to this. It looks like we have some of the new gear. Of course, I'm not going to look at a lot of the special gear and stuff too closely, but it looks like we have quite a good chunk of new peddler base gear that we're going to be able to play with, which my friends and I have put tons and tons of hours into the base game. We almost have all the secret gear unlocked, and we still have so many weapons and pieces of gear that we just haven't even experienced. And I'm really looking forward to the new peddler changes, because that was one of our complaints, was refreshing the peddler store was very, very troublesome, and trying to find specific gear was very, very difficult. So now, for example, one of the new rules is you'll be able to refill the shop with every purchase, for example. And you can even reset the peddler shop even if gear has been purchased, just making it easier to find what you're looking for. Rubber bands, bent pitchfork. So it looks like, on the left side here, you can see there's different listings of the roles. So for example, this knotted chain is for the Tinkerer. We have Mourner's Veil for the Mourner. +1 accuracy whenever another townsfolk is knocked out. Gain +1 accuracy for the fight. Mouth harp looks like some nice new instruments for the Blopsy twins for the showman role. +1 max HP. All other townsfolk on the board may immediately move 1 square. I'm very interested to see what kinds of new things they add for the gear, because there's tons and tons of possibility. There's so much gear in this game. I'm very, very interested to see how not only the roles come together, but just the different combinations of gear. You may chew in straw. You may reroll terrain rolls if the result is 2 or less. Baby's bib for the town career. Yeah, these look very, very cool. Ankle jangler. Yeah, we're gonna definitely do a deep dive in some of those. And then it looks like we have some new special gear, of course. I'm not going to look at these too closely because I don't want to spoil some of them too much, and we're going to dive into them a little bit later, of course. But these are the special gear that you can get off of the Ruffians if you're good enough. And of course, for beating the fight. And then we have unique gear. These are gear meant for final fights or getting off specific town events, maybe, things like that. Strange cube. Oh, there's 4 of them. 5 of them? Looks like a strange cube is meant for one for each player if you want to, because of course this is a 5-player game if you want to make it. Very, very cool. And then it looks like we have a new starting gear, or I guess starting gear for Judy and Frigid Jones. So we can look into these. So we have giant paintbrush. This is Judy Marks's. It's a melee 2-handed spear. Looks like it's 1 moxie to attack with, 7+ accuracy, 1 damage, and it's range 3, so you get to add +1 to your accuracy rolls with this weapon for each painting given this fight. That's very, very cool. So you want to get your paintings to your friend and then use this to just beat down on the ruffian. We have Artist's Cape, which is going to be her chest gear. When you give your 3rd painting away each fight, restore 1 HP. Cool. And here are the different paintings that we can have. So we have Happy Palace, or Happy Place, Focus Friend, and Hero's Journey. So Happy Place, it's nice that these are special gear, so they don't actually take up a slot. After receiving this, you gain +3 movement and +2 moxie on your next turn. So a one-time thing, but a super strong effect for a very big turn. We got Focus Friend, which is after receiving this, your next attack is a successful hit regardless of accuracy roll. So it looks like these are all sort of one-time things, but really bump up your friend's abilities on their turn. And then Hero's Journey, after receiving this, you may immediately move up to 4 squares. If you end the movement adjacent to the ruffian, they instantly take a damage. Very, very cool. So I'm interested to see, now can we take those back is the question. Yeah, an adjacent townsfolk receives a painting of your choice after 3 paintings are given. This can no longer be activated. And if you give out 3 paintings during a fight, you get +2 movement for the fight. So it looks like you can only use each of them 1 time. So you're going to have to be a little bit pick and choosy with her abilities, but it looks like she can really spike up the power level of everyone. And here we have Bridget Jones's equipment. So we have Swinging Door. This is her two-handed mace. It's 1 Moxie, 5+ accuracy to hit with it, 1 damage. This weapon deals +1 damage if you activated Hide inside this turn. Very, very nice. It's not too bad of an accuracy thing, but she does start with -1 accuracy, so important to note that. So you're effectively hitting on a 50-50. And then we have Ice Pack, which is her chest gear. 1 Moxie to use. The townsfolk hiding inside of you restores 1 HP. Interesting. I'm actually interested because we, of course, know this. Her along with Henlo, the chicken from the base game, would be very, very interesting. You have 2 healers on the team now, so that could actually really, really increase the survivability of your friends. Just got some markers for the cards. Very straightforward stuff there. We do have the unlockable gear, which, of course, I'm not going to even bother looking at right now. So if I have to unlock those with my playthroughs, then we'll take a look at them. They have let me know that they just got the size wrong for the envelope, but they will be in an envelope in the future, I believe. It's just that these witches are sitting outside for this preview sampler. And that looks like it is going to be it. Alrighty, because I don't think there is anything else. Oh, nothing like the base game where there was stuff hidden inside. But now I'm sort of wondering, was there supposed to be... Because it does not look like there was any miniatures or any... Oh, wait, never mind. There was no miniatures. They only have the... Sorry. They only have the standees. I don't know. Actually, don't know. I'm guessing they'll probably have miniatures for the actual expansion, but of course, with prototypes and stuff like that, it's just easier to keep it as these standees. But also considering I'm going to be packaging this and taking it on my trip this weekend, it's very, very nice for these standees. Although I'm going to have to check, because there's the things here, but I'm guessing I'll have to use some from the base game, because it doesn't look like they have the standee bases. So those, I think, are missing. Well, maybe not missing, but maybe they just expect you to use the base game. Because obviously, you will need the base game if you want to play the full thing with the expansions. Again, these are expansions. They're not really meant to be played on their own. But that is going to be it for this little first look unboxing. I am very, very excited to dive into this content. Like I said, this is one of my favorite board games ever. This is easily up there as one of my top boss battlers. It's super, super accessible. It's a lot of fun, and thematically it's just super, super thematic, highly, highly produced. Yeah, I can't stop gushing over how good this game is. So if you did miss the reprint, or if you did miss the base game back when, then definitely sign up at the Kickstarter down below, and then you'll be notified when the Kickstarter goes live on March 14th. And yeah, I'll definitely be making some more videos on this. We'll run down some of the talking points, though, just in case I missed anything. But yeah, again, there's going to be 2 expansions. We have Odd Jobs as the expansion that's going to be centered around the Peddler. So you're going to have new starting items. There's going to be 30 new items scrambled together by the Peddler. You have the ability to unlock more gear, rolls, and story over time by using key, dig, and repair gear, or by completing the Peddler's expeditions, which I don't know what those are yet, but I'll, of course, explain that down the road. I'm guessing they're like quests that you can do alongside, almost like Feats of Metal, maybe. Gaining a new role in Eureka Springs, you have to purchase 3 gear of the same role to become that role. And the role cards range in variety, providing new abilities that synergize with your gear. You can encounter new types of gear, which we talked about, the deployables, which I'm looking forward to. I'm guessing like turrets and stuff like that, maybe traps. Traps would be very, very cool. And it's just a new way to play Townsfolk Tussle. And then, of course, for the big, big content, you got the Foul Neighbors expansion, which is going to focus on 2 different neighboring towns. You have Sprinkle Falls and Misty Bluffs. And it's going to be 8 Ruffians total coming out of that expansion, along with 2 new townsfolk. We have Judy Marks and Bridget Jones. And there's going to be new Ruffians with more, like I said, more complex mechanics that we talked a little bit about. So, for example, they might flood the board, inflict diseases on you, or convert you to join them. And we also did talk about a little bit about the base game updates they're going to be doing to the game. So, including a 3-round game mode, adjustments to the Peddler deck, updates, and there's going to be much, much more, which they haven't shared with me. But I'm very, very excited to see what other updates they made to the base game. But that's going to be it. I apologize I don't really like reading talking points point for point, but I just wanted to make sure I got everything and didn't misconstrue anything that they sent me. But yeah, that's going to do it for this little first look. I'll be making some more videos. We're definitely going to be going through a full gameplay video for this, and yeah, we'll do deep dives on some of the Ruffians and some of the characters and some of the gear. So definitely to like and subscribe if you want to see more Townsfolk Tussle content. Thank you so much to, again, Panic Roll for sending me this little preview sampler. More awesome things along the way. So thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.